like I said, we've just come off the back of a call, Greg, talking about kind of where we're at for your business and goals for this year. So do you want to just like introduce yourself, let everyone know your name, company name, where you operate and what it is that you do?
Yeah, sure. So my name is Georgio and I run a plumbing and heating company called Georgio's Gas Services Limited. We are based in Leigh-on-Sea in Essex and have been trading, we've just come up for our 10th year anniversary, December just gone. We're 90% boiler installation company and sort of servicing landlords and whatnot. We don't touch too much general plumbing. But yeah, sort of anything gas and heating wise we cater for. We got introduced to Dan via one of his ads on Facebook, which I saw. We had a great conversation with Dan, and at a particular time I was involved with something else and didn't take up on becoming part of his agency. But then we connected back up probably about 8 or 9 months later, and I became a customer of WeBuild Assets or Trades shortly after that, and it's been fantastic ever since. I believe I may have been one of the first 10 of his clients at the time in this particular industry, but it's just grown and grown and grown, and it's good to be a part of it, and there's huge value in being part of it.
Brilliant. Well, thanks for that, Greg. And it's interesting because when we did first speak, I remember that first conversation, and it was like you went away for you started working for another company or with another company, and then that showed you the importance of data and whatnot, and then you must have saw another one of our Facebook ads. Is that how it worked?
Yeah, I think it was, because like I say, we had a great chat, but I think on our first phone call I sort of said, look, I've got this opportunity with this particular company to be involved with, and that's the sort of direction I took. But then coming back, I think it was another one of your ads, and because I already had that, do you know what it was? The reason why I thought to call back, because we spoke as if we were like, all right, not best friends down the pub, but I thought I could chat to you a lot. Hello mate, it's Greg type thing. And it was a real easy connection there. It wasn't like I didn't feel like I was just an appointment to you. I thought I could just sort of give you a buzz, and we picked up straight away. And within a few weeks, I think you were developing a website, and here we are today.
So at that second conversation, so we spoke, you went away, and then 7 or 8 months later, you saw our ad again. So what was going on in the business at that time to make you think, okay, I need an internet marketing company, I want to invest in internet marketing? What was happening in the business then to make you make that decision?
So at that time, we're probably 18 months ago, 2 years maybe. So I'd been 8 years in the business. Like many others, started literally with a toolbox in a van and, grew it. But I was at a point where I was so ridiculously busy working 6 days a week, with 2 young kids and I thought, what am I doing wrong here? And it was only with sort of receiving a bit of information from yourself and the key phrase that I took on it is, are you working in it, like in the business, or are you working on the business? And just sort of need to take a step back and, scheduling some office time, whatever it may be at the time, what you need to do. But it was just that realization of, unless I kind of change what I've been doing for the last 8 years, the next 8 years are going to be exactly the same. And I just thought that isn't a positive future thought process. If I thought for the next 8 years, it's going to be exactly what I'm doing now, but no, thank you. It's not worth it. So needed to change the outlook and think, right, going with the times and the way the current market is and how obviously people search for customers and clients and whatnot online versus, not just word of mouth anymore. So having that go-to company to be able to provide, a working website and whatnot and all the functionalities that can deliver it to me has been, it's been fantastic. Without that, I could just still be a man, van and apprentice, which is, there's not enough hours in a day.
Well, I've obviously saw massive changes in your business. I mean, you just gave me a little tour of the new office, which you've moved to, which is brilliant for me to see, because 18 months now we've been working together. So before we did start that conversation, Greg, how was you getting leads in the business? Was it all word of mouth? Was you doing any paid ads? Like, what was the current lead flow?
I you know what I think I'd done probably about 6 months prior, maybe, or I can't remember off the top of my head, was I sponsored an ad on Facebook. I didn't have a clue what I was doing. I didn't have a clue what budget I needed to be putting inside it. Just done a very, very basic sponsored ad. Had about 5 likes or whatever, real pathetic, really, results back from it. And my attitude from that was, Facebook and advertising is not really worth it. But my client base was just regulars, various builders and whatnot around the area. And that was a huge core of the business. But I think after, we've done multiple campaigns now, and just getting an understanding, because as an engineer, as a guy that's generally got dirty hands and a toolbox, knowing and understanding how websites and adverts and online, it's a whole other ball game. It's a bit like saying, take a banker out of the office and chuck him on site and fit a boiler. Like, it's impossible. Give him the instructions, but he still might not have a clue what to do. So just learning the other aspects to it, but you can only do it, in my opinion, if you're sort of sitting down in a chair. And in this sort of officey type environment, you need to really take off your dirty clothes and put on your office hat, so to speak, and look at it through someone, and listen to someone like yourself, and look at it through a different set of eyes.
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head, because when you're so busy working in the business, when you're the engineer, you got to put food on the table. You don't trust anyone else to do as good a job as what you do. It's letting go of that control and finding people who can do what they need to do while you do what you need to do, and cause you less stress and overwhelm. So at the time, Greg, obviously you mentioned it earlier, like there's so many different frigging internet marketing companies out there at the moment. Everyone's promising you the world and not getting you the results that they're promising. So out of all the options that you had, and obviously between the time we first spoke, there was 9 months of you seeing other companies' Facebook ads and everything else. So what was it that made you choose to work with us over everyone else?
Okay, so up to this point as well, I'd also been burnt in the past for exactly what you say. How many times do we all hear, get on page 1 of Google for, and it's a load of rubbish, basically, and I've been burnt twice. Not fortunes, but I got burnt. So I again, tradesmen, trusting people for adverts, very, very skeptical. But to answer your question, Dan, it was, I felt I could trust you, because I thought even in your tone, like this is, I don't think we've actually met in person. It's always been, through this, Zoom, or whatever. I spoke many, many times every month, but it was just just how genuine he was. And I didn't get for 1 minute that he was in it just to take some money and run type thing. I generally thought, okay, this guy's going to put some real time into this, and he wants results for me. So to give his results for it. So I felt like if there's anyone I could part away with whatever costs are involved, with whatever type of marketing that you do, it was going to come your way, because I felt I could trust you.
So that's so good for me to hear, mate. And like you said, I mean, we've never actually met in person, which is crazy to think. Like, we've been speaking pretty much every week for 18 months or whatnot, and we've never met in person. But when we did start working with each other, I remember with your project, we'd set something up for you and it weren't quite what you wanted. So do you want to just walk through everyone, like what happened there? Because
So they started working on the website, and how I view the website and where it's at, and what tweaks and changes and the information we provide. The template that was provided, I sort of went through it, and I just had a bit of a day where I was like, actually, that isn't what the colour scheme wasn't quite how I envisioned it. And it's so hard for me to get what is in my head to relate over to you and your team. And I just picked the phone up to you one day and I just said, look, Dan, I don't want to be rude here, but unfortunately it's not really what I was looking for. And I remember it because it was about 2 weeks before Christmas, and that is, for us, it's like a busiest season. I was like, I'm going to upset him, I'm going to fall out, And your reply was, okay, could have told me sooner. Valid. Could have told you sooner. And he was like, look, we'll scrap it and we'll get you what you want. And exactly what you did. Exactly what you did there. You've done is that, and we've developed a whole new page, a whole new site for me. The site now is up and running, been live for ages, and it's bringing in some wicked results. So full credit where it's due.
Boom. I just wanted to get that in there, because like you said, mate, you've got a vision in your head, and trying to communicate with someone else, it can sometimes be hard. And like what a lot of agencies do is they will just build a website based on what they think, and they'll just kind of plug it on you. Whereas like my main goal, and hopefully you'll back what I'm about to say up, but my main goal is to build relationships, not just for the money, but to help like build a business relationship where hopefully we're working together in 5 years, 10 years. So when after you started working with us, and obviously we've made promises to you, we've said that we're going to do this and we said that we're going to do that. Looking back now, 18 months into the future, have we lived up to what we kind of said we would? And what would you say your experience has been like?
It's been brilliant. It really has. There's multiple factors to being part of your agency that bring me value. It's not just a case of the website's done, that's it, Dan, thanks, mate. Like, you know, we'll catch up soon type thing. It's all the other bits that come with it. So I'm really sorry, my tablet just blocked out there. Yeah, you've done everything from your side. I know it's like having painful customers. I feel I've been that customer to you because of how many amendments I personally wanted to make. And you've not once, any of you or any of the team have come back. I kind of got an understanding of what you might be thinking about me, but you've never said it. And fair play, no credit where it's due. Everything, any amendment I've asked to do or changes or change your mind like I always do, you know, you've delivered. So it's been, phenomenal service.
Brilliant. And we were speaking the other day, and the other side of it is a lot of people who I speak to, it's not so much like the marketing side of things, but obviously we've got the WhatsApp group, the Trello system for support and everything. And we were speaking the other day about you connecting with one of the other guys and speaking to him for an hour or so. So how has the experience been, not from just like the marketing side, but from the group, first of all, the WhatsApp group?
Yeah, you wouldn't get an opportunity like it, because for me, as a plumbing company, for me to go around to all my local competition that literally I drive past the office in their vans, excuse me, I couldn't say to them, hey, John, what are you up to, or whatever. Then what are you doing that works for you? Like, share some ideas with me, because there's bounce off each other, and it's not going to happen. With the WhatsApp group and the guys that are in it, admittedly, we're all spread around the country, but because there's no conflict of interest for anyone, and we're all at slightly different stages of business, as far as that are huge and whatnot, it's great because you bounce ideas around, you see what's worked for them, ultimately what hasn't worked for them, and you kind of look at it and go, right, let's not do that, because they've said they've tried it and tested it and it hasn't worked for them. So it's brilliant. Other parts of the industry, 90% of my business is boilers. I was chatting to a guy last night on one of the conference calls. He does all renewable stuff. So I'm getting an first-hand insight to how he's finding it, what it's like there out in the field, today in that part of the industry. And it's, it's ridiculously valuable, ridiculously.
Well, to be fair, mate, it's been a massive eye-opener for me, because obviously I've got my expertise in like marketing, but ask me to fit in a boiler and like you would not want to see the result of it. So bringing in like the other guys and just me taking a step back, and like, there's a comment in the group at the moment, and it's just crazy to see like all you guys interacting. We've obviously got a live event that was supposed to be happening today, but obviously COVID's messed that up. So
I'm gutted about that. That would have been wicked. I was going to travel 3 hours to come and spend a night in a hotel and come and meet everyone, and just put some names to some faces, because we talked so much on there. It'd be good to actually meet everyone and have a pint. It's not just obviously the blokes in there, there's women in there as well, and it'd be good to just pick everyone's brain. It's a networking. It would have been good. It would have been good to have a meet up. So as soon as the COVID's over, that needs to happen.
Definitely, mate. I think we're going to want to do maybe like twice a year, if not more, like just to get everyone together. It's valuable anyway, but I genuinely feel like we're building a strong community with the people in there. And when we're all kind of putting our heads together and brainstorming, who knows what can happen and ideas that are going to come from it.
Yeah, definitely. Okay.
So the other side of this is obviously after the website's being built, you've been added to the WhatsApp group and whatnot. There's other things that come after that, of course, like you might want a social media ad doing, you might want a graphic creating, you might want a website amendment doing. So what's your experience been like in kind of requesting changes and working on other projects with us, Greg?
It's been good. It's all been very, very consistently, good. the first initial sort of commitment was you guys building the website for me. I think now let's say 2 years. So 2 years from nothing to now we're a fully website. And I think you've probably done 3 or 4 campaigns for me on social media, with more that are in the pipeline now, and other bits that are also in the pipeline, and other land. You know, you've done loads for us. Yeah, it's pretty seamless. It's good. It's what, again, kind of relating back to the network of everyone in the group, is I'm now doing things off the back of everyone else's, you know, feedback. But if we didn't have this group and we wasn't able to communicate and we were just clients of yours, you'd be missing a huge, well, we'd be missing everything we are. So I'm now currently running ads because I've seen it work for others. And if I don't try it, I'll never know. So and it's opened my eyes to realise there's huge windows of opportunity that people like myself were not taking, because it's kind of a bit scared to, didn't know who to trust, didn't know how much money you had to spend. It's you know, it's taking me out of my comfort zone. But now I'm seeing the return and the results. It's like, wow, this is wicked. This is good.
It works.
Yeah, do you know, and that is it. Although it's not, it takes a period to collect the data and look at and analyse it. But once you do the sort of number crunching, and it's there in black and white, and you got like, this works. You put this many, or this amount of budget in to generate this back. Why would you not do it?
Think about how far you've come from them boosting a Facebook post days, mate.
Oh no, it's mad. But then, like I say, it's been a collective thing. With and as strong as the people around you, aren't you, really? You know, without someone like yourself, yeah, who knows? But no, it's been brilliant.
Brilliant. So just to wrap up, because I appreciate this, mate, as you know, it's good to hear your thoughts, and obviously we've been working together for so long, so it's just good to hear that you've got value from what we're doing, and long may that continue. So for anyone who's watching this now, who's maybe in your position, so they've saw a Facebook ad of We Build Assets, they've watched one of our videos, they may have even spoke to me or someone in the team on the phone, and they're kind of umming and ahhing whether to trust us, whether to make that decision. Now that you've been working with us for so long, if you had a chance to speak to that person, what would your advice be to them?
Yeah, quite plain and simple, really, because I'm a very sceptical person, and don't, you know, I'm kind of believe it when I see it type of guy. But there's in the group to this date 30 plus in there. You know, numbers don't lie. You know, not all there for just a WhatsApp chat. There's obviously other value to it, which is keeping us all in the same boat. So, yeah, if you're thinking about it, or you're considering a digital marketing company to look after your market on a website and stuff, is to first of all hear you out. I'm so sorry, someone's keep trying to come through. Sorry. To get in touch with you, hear you out, go through the process, and come and join the team.
Boom, excellent. So would you recommend We Build Trades to work with?
100%.
Boom, wicked, brilliant. Well, thank you, Greg, for that.